Hi, my name is Patrick Reagan. Welcome to the Operating Procedures series of videos where we discuss backup and restore methods, ticket systems, documentation, and change management. In Part 6, User and Regulated Data discusses user data, regulated data such as personal identifiable information and protection health information, general data protection regulation, and the payment card industry data security standard. For those who are going to take the A+ exam, there are practice questions at the end of the video. If you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. If you're working in IT, you're going to have to deal with user data and regulated data. Many IT people have more rights and permissions compared to a normal user, including the ability to view emails and personal files stored in home folders, cloud storage, shared folders, and services. Most IT folks have to go through a background check to be hired because of the rights and permissions that will be granted to the person and the access to private, personal, and proprietary information. To keep the IT folks from abusing their privilege and look at people's personal files and emails, special processes may be put in place where the IT person has to be approved to view the personal information, and auditing will be enabled so that when a person does access other people's personal information, it is logged and possibly alerted. Since if you're an IT person who has the greater access, you must be disciplined and not abusing the greater access. If you do abuse your rights and permissions, can lead to you being fired. Your organization should have a data retention policy that specifies how long you will keep data, possibly automatically delete older data, and how long backups will be stored. These policies should be partially based on legal requirements for data retention. You must follow the organization's retention policy. For example, if you say that your policy is set to delete all emails for normal users after 1 year, you must delete emails after 1 year. If you go to court and you pull up emails that are 2 years old that were not discovered before the 1 year period was up for legal discovery, the judge will say, if you have these emails, you have access to other emails during that time period. The policy can have specified exceptions. It can specify what happens when someone is put on legal hold because of the ongoing investigation or legal proceedings. In this security video series, Personal Identifiable Information, or PII, was defined as data that could potentially identify a specific individual. It includes full names, maiden names, alias, contact information, identification numbers such as social security numbers, passport numbers, driver's license numbers, and account numbers, biometric data, date of birth, medical information, financial information, and online identifiers. Personal information can be found in users' personal files or within the shared files and databases used within the company. Not everyone realizes the importance of PII. Attackers can use PII to gain access or impersonate persons, including bank account information and badly written password reset questions. In the security videos, PII was discussed and was explained some basic steps for end users to protect PII. However, as an IT professional, you have a greater responsibility to protect PII. Personal government-issued information is used for government services and documentation. It includes social security numbers, date of birth, driver's license, and passport information. A company should have restrictions on collecting or storing this data, and greater protection should be put in place, including encryption. Protected health information, or PHI, refers to any individual identifiable health information that is created, received, maintained, or transmitted by a covered entity or business associate in relation to the provision of healthcare services. PHI includes individual health status, healthcare records, payments for healthcare, lab test results, imaging studies, prescription and medication information, appointment and scheduling information, and more. PHI is protected under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, privacy rule in the United States. Safeguarding PHI is essential to protect patient privacy, maintain trust in the healthcare system, and comply with legal and regulatory requirements where you need to limit access through strong authentication, rights and permissions, and use encryption to provide confidentiality and integrity. Failure to comply with HIPAA regulations can result in severe penalties, including fines and legal consequences. The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, is a comprehensive data protection and privacy regulation that governs the processing of personal data of individuals within the European Union and the European Economic Area. It was adopted by the European Parliament and Council in April 2016 and became enforceable on May 25, 2018. The GDPR aims to harmonize data protection laws across the EU EEA, strengthen individual rights regarding their personal data, and ensure that the organizations handle personal data responsibly and securely. Compliance with the GDPR requires organizations to implement robust data protection measures, adopt privacy-enhancing practices, and demonstrate accountability for the data processing activities. The GDPR applies to organizations that process personal data of individuals within the EU EEA, regardless of whether the organization is based within those areas or not. It also applies to organizations outside of those areas that offers goods or services to individuals in the EU EEA or monitor their behaviors. It includes name, addresses, photos, email addresses, bank details, posts on social networking, websites, medical information, a computer's IP address, and so forth. The GDPR grants data subject rights individuals a number of rights regarding their personal data, including the right to access, rectify, erase, restrict processing, data portability, object to processing, and not to be subject to automated decision making. It includes a right to be forgotten and a right of erasure. Organizations must have a valid legal basis for processing personal data under the GDPR. This could include obtaining the individual's consent, fulfilling a contract with the individual, complying with legal obligation, protecting vital interest, performing a task carried out in the public interest, or pursuing the legitimate interests of the organization or a third party. Organizations must also provide data breach notifications within 72 hours of becoming aware of the breach, unless the breach is unlikely to result in the risk to the rights and freedoms of individuals. When hosting a website, your site privacy policy needs to be detailed all the privacy rights for a user. The GDPR provides for significant penalties for non-compliance up to 20 million euros or 4% of the organization's global annual turnover, whichever is higher. Payment card industry, or PCI compliance, is a set of standards that businesses must follow to protect credit card holder data. It refers to the technical and operational standards that businesses follow to secure and protect credit card data provided by cardholders and transmitted through card processing transactions. The Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, or PCI DSS, is a set of security standards used to maintain a secure environment designed to ensure that all organizations that accept, process, store, or transmit credit card information in a secure environment. PCI DSS aims to protect cardholder data and reduce the risk of data breaches and fraud. PCI standards for compliance are developed and managed by the PCI Security Standards Council. PCI DSS is organized into 12 high-level requirements, which are grouped into 6 control objectives. Build and maintain a secure network and systems. Requirement 1, install and maintain a firewall configuration to protect cardholder data. Requirement 2, do not use vendor-supplied defaults for system passwords and other security parameters. Protect cardholder data. Requirement 3, protect stored cardholder data. Requirement 4, encrypt transmissions of cardholder data across open public networks. Maintain a vulnerability management program. Requirement 5, protect all systems against malware and regularly updated antivirus software programs. Requirement 6, develop and maintain secure systems and applications. Implement strong access control measures. Requirement 7, restrict access to the cardholder data by business need to know. Requirements 8, assign a unique ID to each person with computer access. Requirement 9, restrict physical access to our cardholder data. Regularly monitor and test networks. Requirement 10, track and monitor all access to network resources and cardholder data. Requirements 11, regularly test security systems and processes. Maintain an information security policy. Requirement 12, Maintain a policy that addresses information security for all personnel. Question: which of the following are considered government-regulated data? Answer: PHI. Question: which of the following forms of regulated data is most important to consider when controlling an e-commerce site on the internet? Answer: cardholder data. Question: which of the following is data security standard for protecting credit cards? Answer: PCI. Question: which of the following data is most likely to be regulated? Answer: name on a medical diagnosis. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, if you work in IT, you're going to have to deal with user data and personal identifiable information, or PII. Your organization should have a data retention policy that specifies how long you will keep data, possibly automatically delete older data, and how long backups will be stored. In the security video series, personal identifiable information, or PII, was defined as data that can potentially identify a specific individual. Protected health information, or PHI, refers to any individual identifiable health information that is created, received, maintained, or transmitted by a covered entity or business associate in relation to the provision of healthcare services. PHI is protected under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, privacy rule in the United States. The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, is a comprehensive data protection and privacy regulation that governs the processing of personal data of individuals within the European Union and the European Economic Area. The Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards, or PCI DSS, is a set of security standards used to maintain a secured environment designed to ensure that all organizations that accept, process, store, or transmit credit card information in a secure environment. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Operational Procedures, Part 7, Incident Response. If you have not already, don't forget to subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. Thank you.